very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. The main day of Chhath festival being observed today, devotees to offer prayers to the setting sun today. Central Bureau of Statistics completes all preparations for the census, plans to use the community questionnaire for the first time. Tourism sector claws back to its feet. Domestic tourism plays a vital role in revival of the industry. Hospital fire kills 4 infants in India, 36 newborns rescued alive. And Paul Pogba injured in a training session with France. Man United midfielder could miss rest of the season due to the injury. And now the news in detail. Today is the main day of the Chhath festival, which is observed as a common cultural symbol of Tarai and Madhes. The festival is dedicated to the sun god with offerings made to the rising and setting sun. It is observed for 4 days from the 4th day to the 17th day of the bright half in the month of Kartik as per the lunar calendar. It usually falls between October and November in the Georgian calendar. The sun, considered as the god of energy and of life force, is worshipped during the Chhath festival to promote well-being, prosperity and progress of family members. The rituals of Chhath festival includes taking holy bath, fasting and worshipping the sun for a long time and offering prasad and agra to the rising and setting sun. Chhath is a festival of bathing and worshipping that follows a period of abstinence and strengthening of the worshipper from the main household for 4 days. During the period, the worshipper observes purity and sleeps on the floor on a single blanket. This is the only holy festival which has no involvement of any priest. The devotees offer their prayers to the setting sun and conclude the festival by offering prayers to the rising sun and the next morning to celebrate its glory as the cycle of birth starts with death. The Standing Committee meeting of CPN Maoist Center has decided to back the American aid project Millennium Challenge Corporation with amendment through national consensus. Unveiling the decision of the party yesterday, Maoist Center spokesperson Krishna Bahadur Mahara made it clear that the party will not back the American aid project without forcing national consensus and amending some characters of the contract. The Standing Committee meeting held at the party headquarters in President Paris Dada also finalized the names of leaders to be represented in the 5-party coordination committee. Party chair Pushpakamal Dahal and leader Narayan Kazi Shrestha will join the committee. It may not be noted that the meeting of the ruling coalition on Monday had decided to constitute an 11-member coordination committee to facilitate government operation. Likewise, the Standing Committee meeting decided to hold its national convention in Kathmandu from December 26 to 28. The Central Bureau of Statistics has completed all preparations for the National Census 2021 with the aim of reaching the doorstep of every citizen. The National Census is being conducted from November 11 to 25 later this month. A report. The Central Bureau of Statistics has trained 40,000 enumerators and 8,016 superintendents for the upcoming census. Coordination mechanisms have been set up for the center down to the ward level to cover social, economic, geographical, physical infrastructures and other issues. According to CBS, 80 questionnaires, including 25 for the purpose of listing houses and households and 55 main questionnaires as well as the community questionnaires will be used for the National Census 2021. The community questionnaires are being used for the first time. The CBS has completed the task of enlisting houses and households particulars. The CBS stated that an enumerator has been assigned with the responsibility of reaching nearly 150 houses for the census. The census would be taken at an individual's place of residence where that individual frequently resides. CBS Director General Nebin Lal Shrestha urged everyone to extend cooperation for the smooth conduction of the national census, stating the particular of the census would be treated as confidential information promulgation, he said the CBS would conduct the National Agriculture Census after completing the census national. This is the first national census after the promulgation of the new constitution. The census will prepare the disaggregated statistics on the basis of the Sustainable Development Goals, prosperity and good governance. The constitution has the provision which states that statistics available from the national census should be linked to development planning. The national census in Nepal takes place in every decade, and the first census was held 109 years ago in 1911 during the regime of Rana Prime Minister Chandra Samser. Welcome. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 425 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 815,372, while the number of active cases has dropped to 7,612. The death toll from coronavirus has climbed to 11,452 after the virus claimed one more life yesterday. Nepal is currently among top 45 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with over 47.53 million confirmed cases, followed by India with over 34.38 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 25.53 million people across the world and claimed over 5.07 million lives. The Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation is preparing to take action against the CEO of Nepal Tourism Board, Dr. Dhananjaya Regmi, for misbehaving with customs staffers at the Tribhuvan International Airport on November 6. The ministry has asked Regmi to submit a written clarification within 3 days. A report. A dispute erupted between the customs staffers and Nepal Tourism Board's CEO Dhananjaya Regmi on Saturday morning while he was returning home after attending the International Travel Mart in the UK. News reportedly stating that Regmi and customs staffers had a scuffle became viral on social media. The ministry has directed the concerned authorities to seek written clarification from NTB's CEO Regmi after collecting information from the both sides involved in the incident. Joint Secretary Prem Subedi told JanataTelevision that the ministry will initiate action against Regmi if his clarification is not satisfactory. Regmi is accused of importing 6 bottles of liquor against the law while returning home from the UK. Instead of complying on the law, he said to have manhandled the customs staffers. Meanwhile, NTB issued a press statement in an attempt to clarify the incident, which according to the board was blown out of proportion. According to NTB, CEO Regmi had raised question about the careless attitude of the customs staffers while he arrived to the customs clearance section of the airport. The NTB explained there was an argument between Dr. Regmi and customs staffers when he urged them to provide their service and render prompt services. After the customs staffers hurled 4 words at Dr. Regmi, an altercation ensued between the staffers and Dr. Regmi, the NTB said, adding that the incident was exaggerated. The NTB refuted that Dr. Regmi mistreated the customs staffers under the influence of alcohol, RSS further reported. And now the news from economic front. The tourism sector, which has been stalled for the past 2 years, has started returning to normalcy. A report. Tourism activities have started increasing across the country due to domestic tourism, while the identification and promotion of new destinations have also started. The tourism sector, which was dependent on foreign tourists before the coronavirus crisis, has now become hopeful about the prospect of domestic tourism. Tourism entrepreneurs and businessmen who are frustrated with the lack of immediate arrival of foreign tourists have become optimistic with the increase in activities of domestic tourists. The coronavirus pandemic and lockdown have contributed to the expansion of domestic tourism as well as the desire of Nepalese to travel. On top of that, the government has provided leave to the employees through the budget to promote domestic tourism. The Nepal Tourism Board, the body that regulates the overall tourism sector, has focused on promoting domestic tourism and has developed an internal strategy to provide the necessary resources, tools and management to uplift the tourism business. The Tourism Board has formulated a new plan to attract foreign tourists to Nepal to make the overall economy sustainable. Last year, the government of Nepal declared Nepal Tourism Year 2022, but the coronavirus pandemic that started from China in late December 2019 played the spoil spot. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Manchester United midfielder Paul Pogba could miss the remainder of 2021 after injuring his thigh on duty with France. Initial estimates from the France camp suggest the 28-year-old will be out for between 6 and 8 weeks. That will take Pogba to the end of the year, at which point he can sign pre-contract terms with overseas club given his United deal runs out in June. If he is out for 8 weeks, he would miss 2 Champions League group games and up to 10 Premier League matches. Uncertainty over Pogba's Old Trafford future has been overshadowed in recent weeks by the home defeats by Liverpool and Manchester City that have sparked further debate around the future of manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The former Juventus midfielder was already going to miss United's next match away to Watford in the Premier League on 20 November as he completes a 3-match domestic ban following his red card as a substitute against Liverpool. United boss Solskjaer is already without a number of players because of injury. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. The main day of Chhath festival being observed today, devotees to offer prayers to the setting sun today. Central Bureau of Statistics completes all preparations for the national census, plans to use the community questionnaire for the first time. Tourism sector claws back to its feet. Domestic tourism plays a vital role in revival of the industry. Hospital fire kills 4 infants in India, 36 newborns rescued alive. And Paul Pogba injured in a training session with France. Man United midfielder could miss rest of the season due to the injury. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.